Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Today, I get to talk to somebody that has done something with his life and created something that I've always wondered, like, how to do it. And what that is making a board game or creating a game, a card game, board game, any type of game of your own. And I think there's probably a gazillion ways you could do it. And I think it's pretty badass. And I get to interview somebody that I've been bugging for a while, and he finally set me up a time, and then I mixed it up because, kids were off of school, and of course, I'm an airhead, so I was like, dang it. So he's like, you know what? I'm free tonight. So I was like, pat. So I get to talk to Jeff Ignatowski, just in a few minutes, who created not only a game, a board game, and more to it, I think, because I was looking at some of his stuff on Instagram. But he created a game about real serial killers and different killers. It's called Killers, the card game. So it's a bit of history. So it's more than just a game. It's like a collectible. I don't know how many people, I know our family, we have watched a million different documentaries on YouTube, Netflix, Peacock, Hulu, about different murders and different serial killers and different prison stories. So man, if this is something you're into normally, and you like to sit around with some friends or family or whatever and play something cool like this instead of the same old Monopoly or whatever it is you're doing, you can only play, what's that one? Oh gosh, I'm blank right now, but there's a whole bunch of games. Oh, Cards Against Humanity. Who hasn't played that? Everybody likes that. I'm not saying any bad shit. I know it was created in Chicago. Good for them. That's a big game. But, I mean, you can only play that so many times. But you should check out this game, the Killers card game. So I'm going to talk with Jeff in just a few minutes. And he's going to tell you about his process of getting this card game going and what it is and how you can get it and all those fun things. So I'm going to play a promo, and we'll be back with the Killers card game creator, Jeff Ignatowski.
Hey, it's Jackson from Life with Jack. After this video, take a moment to scroll down to my videos, and don't you worry if you like them. More are coming soon. And subscribe, like, and ring the bell of notifications so you don't miss out on another good video.
Hey you, yeah, you over there. Do you have an idea, a podcast idea, something that would go great on this show that somebody should know about, that you or somebody that you know could tell us about? Send us an email at catchinupwithcarter@gmail.com. That's Catchin with no G in the middle. catchinupwithcarter@gmail.com. We want to know your ideas, and we want to talk about them. Toodaloo. All right, everybody, we are back, and I have the creator of a card game on the phone. I don't know how many times I've sat back and I thought, like, man, why didn't I think of this card concept, this game concept? And I finally met somebody that created his own game. And not only did he create his own game, but it's out of the ordinary and different and unique, and you learn something. Jeff, how are you?
I am fantastic.
Great, yeah. Tell me about your card game. Well, tell everybody about your card game, please.
So I created Killers the card game, and now we are a full-fledged gaming company. So I have Scorpion Lair Games. When we first started out, we were only known as Killers the card game, but it was kind of a unique thing. My son, I have always loved creating games. So I started creating games when I was like 8 years old. And I would literally get I actually have these. This is really funny. I have a set of KO boxing cards. This is the first game I ever created. And we took those cards and I developed a dice rolling system, whether you would get a knockout, a TKO, whether you would, get a draw or whatever, and we would roll the dice and see who would win out of the two fighters. So when I was 8, I used to force my friends to play that game all the time, and they hated me, but I was bigger than them. So, I grew up on the East Coast. So, you just, you force people to do what you want them to do. But back then, that's what I was doing. And so, fast forward like 30 years, and me and my son had gone to a little oddity shop here in the Cincinnati area. And we had gone there and we're looking around and everything. And he's like, Dad, can you buy me this pack of cards? And I said, what are they? And they were the true crime cards from the 1990s. And I said, oh man, that's super cool, man. I used to have a whole set of those when I was a kid. I was like, how much are they?
I've seen those too,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, they're $6 a pack. And I was like, hell no, you're not getting a pack of $6 a pack card. No. And he was like, come on, Dad, come on. I was like, no, I'm not buying you that, so you can just throw it away. And I looked at him and I said, I could make those cards. And so, like, I literally went home that night and sat down and sketched out like a bare bones plan of the card game I was going to create. I was like, I thought I was going to create those. And then on the way home, I was like, you know what? I can make this into a game. I love true crime and I love educating people and getting them to understand all of the crazy shit that's out there. And I think it's super important to make people aware of all those things. So, we've all heard of like Jeffrey Dahmer and, Ted Bundy and all of that. But when you start talking about Andre Chikatilo and Javed Iqbal, some of these maybe international or lesser known serial killers, like, it's important to know that stuff. So anyway, the game kind of came from that, and then, now we have 4 expansions. I've got another 4 in the works. I've got, one game on Kickstarter right now. I have 4 games that I'm working on and a 5th one. So we've got all kinds of stuff in the works.
So with that, like, how does one get one started? Where do you go? I guess when I think of musicians, you go somewhere, you make a demo and you're handing out tapes, but where do you go when you have an idea for a card game or for a board game? What's your first steps like in that?
So really, obviously having a concept is really important. Writing that concept down and really kind of fleshing it out. So what you typically do is, like, if you're going to create a game, a board game or a card game, maybe you design some cards, even if it's just like on a piece of paper, and you put them in a little cards holder. And, I was always a religious Magic the Gathering player, and I love D&D. So my game is a cross between the two of those. So what I would do, like when we first started out, I printed them off on my printer, and I got a graphic design, or I don't even know if it was a graphic design program. I just got a template off the internet, and I, put all the information in the template, put some pictures in there, and I printed them off at my home printer, stuffed the card sleeves with them, and put magic cards in there so that they were like a card consistency. And we would play with that when we first started out, just to kind of refine the game and figure out, like, okay, is this a concept that's going to work? Is it fun to play? Is anybody else going to like it? So, you kind of take these small steps. And then once you get to a place where you're like, okay, this is a cool concept, I think people will really like it, then there are different places that you can go. I hate to say it this way, because one of the companies that I use to produce my cards won't produce our killer cards. And I don't know that it is a personal, like, they don't want to deal with the subject matter or whatever. They say that it's IP issues and stuff like that. And Milwaukee, Wisconsin is where they're from. And in Wisconsin, apparently the laws are pretty strict up there, or so I've been told. So there are different companies out there. One of them is really good. They produce all of the little meeples and all of the different little components and the boxes and everything, called the Game Crafter. And you can go there and set up whatever you need to create a game. They will send you a demo copy. Like, you order a copy from them, and then you can have a real copy to sit there and play. that is probably the most important thing, is to play it over and over and over and just refine it a little bit by a little bit and take things in, like put things in, take things out, see how it works before you ever get to mass market. Now, you know, I'm at a place now where we've been in business almost 2 years, and I've sold over 1,200 units in 8 countries. So, you know, I'm busy working on ordering another 1,000 units to come in so that we have more stock to sell. So it's been really, really cool, but unusual, especially for being super grassroots.
What's it been like the feedback, I guess? The one question I was wondering was, like, have you met anybody that was associated with an actual murderer? Like, hey, you know, that was my uncle that got killed or something like that. Has anybody come to you with a story like that when you've been out and about?
You know, it's funny because I've had several people.
No kidding.
Yeah, not just one. I've probably had 15 people come to me.
Ooh, can you talk about one? Can you say a cool story?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure. I met a gentleman at a convention one time, and he was looking through the cards and everything, and he stopped at Rodney Acala. Rodney Acala was the dating game killer. It's possible that he may have killed up to 300 people. He was only convicted of like 5 or 6, I think. But if you go by what they found, and they found over 300 pictures of women that were either drugged or dead, that he had taken photographs of, and he would go and he would, you know, kind of solicit them to come in, to take photographs of them. Super creepy dude. And he would end up killing them, right? So anyway, this guy comes up to the booth and he's like, hey, do you have a Cala in there? I'm like, yeah, I do. He said, I dated one of his victim's sisters, and I went to the court case. I was there when they were doing, like, I saw everything, all of the pictures of all the murder sites and everything. He was like, I was there through the whole trial because I was dating her sister at the time, and then we went there. And so he said, I have all the artifacts at home. Like when Rodney, I guess, worked with her and was taking her home from work, they ended up going out on a date when he decided he was going to kill her. And he took her purse and threw it out the window. Well, when the police had recovered all of that, once they, you know, went through the court case and all of that, they ended up releasing that all to the sister. The sister gave it to the boyfriend. So he has all of that. He ended up becoming like friends with Rodney, right? And so Rodney would write him letters and send him autographed books and stuff that he has at his house. And so while he's standing there at the booth with me, he was like, you know who you really need to talk to? You need to talk to the sister. So he calls her up on the phone while I'm standing there. They're still friends. And calls her up, and I spend 30 minutes at my booth at a convention talking to one of the victim's family members.
Holy crap, that is so sick.
About all the stuff that I do, and she was super cool about it. Part of it is that she wants to get the real story about what all happened out there. So, you know, there's a certain amount of people that all want to forget about that it happened. But then there are other really proactive people that want people to know, so other people can be protected from that kind of stuff. You know, because all of these different killers prey on people that are weak, prey on people that are not, they don't have a good guard up, right? They prey on those people. So if you're more aware, you are less likely to be a victim. So there are some of the family members, some of the different people that are associated with that are very interested in getting the word out there and helping other people not fall prey like their family did.
Yeah, so, that's insane. Yeah, I was also reading a little bit about you too, to try to learn a little bit before I called you, and I saw that you're also a mixed martial art instructor, right?
Yeah, at one time I was. I'm retired now.
Oh, are you okay?
But I also fought professionally, and I was a group fitness, I ended up on like a national stage teaching group fitness and stuff. I worked with Kevin Kearns, who trained, I don't know, 14 or 15. He did the strength and conditioning for several UFC fighters. He was my coach. Awesome guy from Boston. And so I did that for a very long time.
That's cool. It's such a different story that you're doing now, and it seems really neat. And I saw what you do. It takes more than just creating the game, folks. This guy, when I met him, it was at a really cool convention. I can't wait to go to the next one because I'm going to definitely go to it. In IU at that cool castle looking place. But it, you got to get out there and really, promote your stuff. And I see him doing it. He's always all over the place. You're always doing stuff. I follow your Instagram, and it takes, you got to do some work out there. But I bet it's cool. I'm sure you meet a lot of neat people too, along the way, and it tells a part of the story, I'm sure.
Well, it's funny because this is kind of a running joke now. And I was saying this at the last convention I was at. Like, I always take pictures of people when they buy the game, right? Because you got to have like social media proof. Like, people want to see that people are actually buying it and stuff like that, right? But even more than that, I thought it was funny because I was like, you know what? Maybe I got to prove to people that like normal people buy my shit. And it's not just like some creepy dude in the basement, like trying to come in and buy Killers the card game. No, it's actually normal people because there are millions of people out there that love true crime, right? And like it is so popular right now. And it always has been popular. Like, since the beginning of time, we've all been gossiping about, did you know that so-and-so got killed by so-and-so? You know what? We've been talking about it for 1,000 years. It's going to always be there because we are intensely interested in the macabre. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay, because those people that are really interested in that become the future FBI agents. They become the future, police detectives that are out there solving these crimes. That is important. Giving people an entry point into that and giving them something where they can have fun and be educated and enjoy the genre is really important.
Oh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah. I love the whole idea of it, and I think it'd be awesome to create one in general. But I don't know what I would make it out if I'd never really thought of it thoroughly like that. But when I was reading about you, though, you also have a little background with like. I don't know how to word it, but does it say that you used to like live in Jeffrey Dahmer's uncle's house or something like that? Or
so yeah, when I was growing up, this is funny. So I don't know who told me this when I was a kid. Like, I grew up around a lot of true crime anyway. And my dad met Manson in the early 60s. So that kind of started everything out when I was a kid. Like, it's a funny story. Manson did not like my dad. My dad was going to try to rob him of his drugs. So like but when I was growing up, we always called him Cousin Charlie, right? I grew up saying that. I never met Manson myself. Of course, he was long in prison before I was even around. The murders had already happened. And, but when I was growing up, there was like, I don't know who said it, but somebody told me that, that, when your dad bought this house, Dahmer's uncle owned it and you guys got a dirt basement. And so that ended up not being true at all. But it's a really funny story growing up. That's what I believed when I was a kid. Well, what we actually found out is there was a serial killer that was associated with the house that I grew up in, but it was a different one. There's only one serial killer from Delaware. And I can't remember his name right now. People were going to not forgive me for that, but I can't remember his name. But anyway, it was actually his uncle that owned the house before my dad bought it. So there is a true crime relation in there, not a Dahmer relation. But also, like, I grew up around the mafia, right? I'm not Italian at all. I'm half Filipino, a quarter German, and a quarter Polish. However, my dad and a lot of our family was all was all Italian. They all owned restaurants, and they were all fronts for the mob in the 70s. My dad also knew a bunch of mob figures from Philadelphia. He was friends with Angelo Bruno and had a sit down with Angelo 3 weeks before they blew his brains out. So, I grew up in the middle of all of that stuff, and I always loved it as a kid. And so it's just kind of been the natural progression for me as an adult to get back into that and really enjoy it.
Such a cool story. I love that. That's so neat, man. Yeah, I tell you, there's so many times that me and my fiance will be upstairs and we'll have one of the many streaming services on, and there's so many good stories on there. Like, dang. And I have one of my friends that was in the Navy. I'll have to send you the link of that podcast. But I interviewed his dad. He was killed, but it said it was suicide. But there was a bunch of things showing otherwise. I'll just send it to you. But and he's from Ohio too, Delphus, Ohio. And
okay,
yeah. So I'm definitely into it, and I'm trying to solve the case and figure out, give one of my really close shipmates actually in the Navy, give him some type of closure to his dad, because we don't know what happened, and it's crazy. But it's definitely, there's so many people love that, man. It's I'm glad you did it, and I'm definitely gonna buy one. I didn't then, I should have. I don't know if you're gonna be at this one again at the NIU Convocation Center again, or not the convocation, at that building. But if you do come this time, I definitely want you to sign it in person. If not, I'll just have to buy it online.
Is that the one up in Del Cobb?
Yeah, DeKalb. Yep.
Yeah, DeKalb. I can't fucking pronounce that place.
No, it's okay.
You know what's funny about that? Because I went up there and I blew my engine in my car on the way there.
Dang.
So I drove 200 miles on a blown engine to get to that convention. And my buddy Willie Atkins runs that convention. Awesome dude.
Cool.
And so I came up there to do that. And then I had to have somebody come and bring me home. It's so crazy. And my new car that I just bought not too long ago, right after that, now has a logo of like the card game and everything on the back of it. So I ended up with an upgrade after that, after I blew up my Honda on the way up there.
Dang, it was a Honda, and they go forever.
They do, man.
I had a couple Hondas. I miss them. I got to get one, like a little beater one even. Okay, so how does somebody follow you, first off? And then the second question is, how does somebody purchase your games?
Okay, so the easiest way to get a hold of me and any of my social media and anything, I have a link tree. So if you go to Linktree /Killers TCG, so KILLERS TCG, it will get you to everything that we have. That'll take you to the website. That'll take you to the Kickstarter that's going right now. It'll take you to our Etsy page that has my full line of clothing that's on there. And then all of our social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I think, is on there. I don't know. My TikTok, I believe, is on there because I got a TikTok channel and we do all kinds of videos on there. But
Okay, there you have it, folks. Man, I appreciate this so much. No, what were you going to say?
Oh, so I forgot about this. I bought the name not too long ago. So you can also go to scorpionlairgames.com, and that one's easy too. I'm so used to sending everybody to the Linktree because we didn't just 2 weeks ago, somebody was like, why don't you just go and buy your domain name, Jeff, before somebody else does? And I was like, you know what? That's a damn good idea. I should probably do that. So I did. I went there and bought it, and I think it cost me like $12 or something. It's ridiculously cheap. But now I have Scorpion Lair Games, a legitimate website name.
There you go. That's dope. I got to do that too myself.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, man, this is so cool. So, guys and gals, if you're into true crime, murder, all that fun stuff, I'm telling you, this board game was so cool. I looked at it a little bit when I was at this convention, and he sells all kinds of cool clothing and merch, too. I forgot about that. There was a pair of shoes that my fiance thought were so cool. Man, I'm trying to think. You might have been wearing them, actually.
I was. Those were my Dahmers.
Yeah.
So I think I think then I still had the high tops. I have the low tops now, and I just ordered these, and they should be coming in the next 2 weeks. But I got a pair of Kempers that are coming, and on the front of them, it has a mother tattoo, which I think is really funny. But
yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you so much, Jeff. So, guys and gals, he told you where to go. No, go ahead.
Yeah, one other thing, if you like. We talked a lot about true crime and everything. Right now on Kickstarter, I have a cryptid game. So Bigfoot and, Chupacabra, Mothman, all of, like, there's 10 different cryptids, the Loch Ness Monster, the Michigan Dogman, are all in that game. And so that is running on Kickstarter right now. That is our first, big venture outside of the true crime genre. But don't fear, because the next game I have coming out, I've got a haunted house game I'm working on too, and that one will probably be the very next game out. But then after that, I'm going to return to Killers, and I'm going to release a game called Kill Scene. So it's kind of like playing spades was kind of the concept of it. So you're trying to get points by doing creating your own kill scene, from an abduction, a transportation, a location, and a kill. You can upgrade your kills by, using a necrophilia card, a BDSM card, a cannibalism card. And then also, you're a killer, right? You're playing as a killer, so you can steal from other players every turn. And then, but the problem with that is if you steal from them, you also have to negotiate sometimes in this game. So you may have to negotiate with another player to get a kill. So you might have them abduct somebody, or you may take them to their, field to kill them. So you may be negotiating with them. So you don't want to piss everybody off while you're playing it. So it is a lot of strategy, a lot of talking to people and negotiating with them. So I think it's going to be a super fun game when it comes out.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about the other one. See, I did read a little bit or saw something about the cryptid one, and that's genius too, because so many people are into that, and I love all that stuff too. We are definitely into what's going on with these shot down Martian circles, or who knows what would.
Oh yeah, whatever those balloons were.
Yeah, that too. But we know there's a lot of shit out there, and that's definitely into it. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, I want to buy a couple of those, and I know a few people I would get them for. It sounds like a great gift idea, too, for like a birthday, Christmas, you know what I mean? A lot of people,
absolutely,
to do something different, like I said before, than the typical, the same games, I guess, I get tired of the same ones too, and I think that's really interesting. Man, thank you so much. You know how to contact him. Again, this is Jeff Ignatowski, and he created Killers, a card game, and he's got several other ones that you got to check out. So make sure you check out his websites, his Instagram, all those things. Buy his games and show him some support. So there you go.
Thank you for spending an hour of your time with us. Now will you do yourself a favor? Check us out on Catching Up with Carter and Fam Show. Do yourself another favor and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Our dog's also up there, so you'll be doing yourself a third favor. And we'll see you next week. Toodles!